Hi, this is Miguel. Today I will show you how to design a wine cabinet in Fusion 360. Let's get to it. Okay guys, we're going to start with a new design. Go to File, New Design. Now let's check that our units in document settings is millimeters. So we're good to go. We're going to go to Modify and change parameters. And we're actually going to create user parameters. Click on user parameters and then the plus sign. These messages here, once you get familiar with them, you can click do not show this again. I'm going to leave it for now like that. So we're going to select our parameters. Our first parameter is going to be the width of our cabinet. That's going to include all the pieces of wood that are going to be inside of it. This is going to be good for sizing of the panels that we're going to use. So we're going to use width, and the unit is millimeter, and we picked 765. Our second one is going to be the depth. That's from front to back, as if you were standing in front of the cabinet, and that's going to be 350. We're going to learn how to use comments later on, but for now we're just going to go without comments. The height. So our height, again, 975. That's from the floor to the top of the cabinet. That is not going to include our glass, but that's fine. We'll leave that for now. The next parameter is our bottle width. That's going to be those little squares where the bottles are going laying on it on their side, and we're gonna pick 110 for that. And our last parameter, I think, is going to be our door height. So we're gonna have two doors at the bottom of our cabinet, and that dimension we picked it for 515. So I think we have most of the parameters that we need. Actually, we're gonna add also the toe kick. That's that the bottom slab at the bottom of our cabinet. As you can see, for name parameters, it doesn't accept the dash, but it does accept the underscore. So for that one, for the toe kick, we have a height of 80 millimeters, and that should be all for now. Later on, we're going to add a couple of more, but for now, we're going to continue modeling our cabinet. We're also going to save, since we're going to get that annoying message at the top there. And well, we're going to pick where to save it, and we'll go from there. And also, well, the name, in this case, I picked um, tutorial cabinet. Just click OK. Okay, so we're going to start by making our first sketch, and we're going to pick the XY plane. We have 4 planes, so we're going to pick the XY plane. Um, we're going to draw a rectangle, as you saw there. That's the rectangle command. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our 0 coincident with that middle point at the bottom of that line. And you need to press Shift, and eventually it does snap to the middle. Right now I press Escape to get out of that coincident command, and as you can see, I can stretch the my sizes, and the middle point is always going to be in the 0. So that's at the intersection of the X and Y axis. That's going to make things easier for us to design, since many designs actually are symmetrical, which means the left side is the same um, as the top side. So here I'm pressing I'm supposed to give it a dimension, but instead I am selecting the parameters. So in this case, depth and width. So once you start typing W or D, the parameter name will appear. So we just click finish for the parameter, and we're going to select that extrude command. Now here we have options to have a new body or new component. Those two are the most used ones. The other ones are also useful for subtraction and intersection and addition. But at this point, we're going to only use new body. And we type H for height, and that's our parameter that we defined earlier. And it is 975. So we press home so that it zooms out. And now we're going to press the letter A. That always brings a toolbar that's called appearance. And sometimes it may show expanded as it is right now. And there we have our common materials that we use. So, for example, you can select metal for aluminum, chrome. For example, I don't have chrome right now on my favorites, and I'm going to add it to my favorites. So you can see that the download signal is not there, so that means it's already in our computer. So we just need to drag that to the solid that we're going to make it the color chrome. And if we right click, we can always add it to our favorite materials. I promise I'm going to make a mini tutorial on how to use materials, since this is a very important topic. We're also going to cover rendering so that we can make our furniture appear beautiful. And we're even going to use artificial intelligence to stage our furniture in places where they would appear good, so that we can sell these and we can post it and sell it and get customers we before we buy any material. We can get a customer and then we buy a material. So uh, that is a promise that I will keep. Okay, we're back. So we are finally have our main box, the one that's going to contain our furniture, in a transparent mode. We can just minimize that appearance tab and it will close once we're done. So we're selecting now, we're drawing the first um, side, and for that we selected sketch and we pick that side face. And now we're going to pick the line command, the one that looks like a line and an arc. Um, so it's hard to actually see this, but um, there is a little sign there that is a, oh, there you go. I made a little hack there. So that means that that line is perpendicular to that line that is in a vertical side. And that's important because we need to um, we need to have perpendicularity. So we did not create our last um, two, I think, um, our last two parameters, and that's our MDF. So that's the boards that we're going to buy, and they usually come in inches because they're manufactured in English unit machines. So they come out in 3/4 and then in 5/16 and a quarter and all this. So now we're gonna have the 3/16 actually. That's a 0.188. So I'm gonna name it MDF underscore 188 inches and is 0.188. And that's going to be our backboard. So after that, we're going to click OK and we're going to continue modeling. So there we have our sketch. At this point, we're going to go to edit that sketch. We right click on it, we pick edit, and we're going to give it a dimension. So type D, and that starts the dimension command. And now we're going to call it MDF 75. So that we're going to leave space um, for our top face. So for now, we're going to do the side one, and we are going to we're going to select. You see, it says there select. We're going to select the size, the side that we're going to do, and now we're going to pick new component. So now um, we have a body, which is a transparent one, and then we're also going to have components. This is what's going to work for um, our bill of materials. So we're going to pick that side, and in order to switch the arrow, we're going to tap negative and then MDF 75 and just click OK. So that's going to extrude that face towards the inside, and we have that space for our top face. So you see the first original body, we can hide it, and we are going to use it only to check. Okay, and we're going to use now in the create drop down, and we're going to make a mirror of our side component, because the opposite side is going to be exactly the same. So once we select mirror plane, we can select our, I think it's our YZ plane. And if we show our original body or transparent body, we see that it's all working good. So we're going to select now, we're going to do our top face. We pick the top face of one of our panels, and we're going to draw a rectangle. We're going to snap on the corner, not that corner, or well, it could be that corner, it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't snap on the opposite side, so we're just going to drop it anywhere, and we're going to use a constraint to align it with the corner. So we press escape to get out of the um, rectangle command. We're going to select that corner, press shift, and we can select that other corner, and then go and pick that coincident command. So that's going to make them coincident, or basically the same. They're locked. They're locked in. So now we have two rectangles there, and we're going to use extrude command. We need to select both of them, actually, that one and that one, and we are in the right direction. And we need to remember that we need to do okay. So it's MDF 75, and oh, there is a mistake right there. So we didn't pick um, new new component. Instead, we joined it. So we're going to have to edit that, and we're going to see that there's actually it's not a bug. Um, it's just the way Fusion works. It doesn't allow us to go back and make it a new component. If we go back to the last command and do edit feature, we're going to see that we won't be able to pick. Once we pick join, we're not able to pick new component. It's just new body, join, cut, or intersect. So we are going to have to delete. Um, I, 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 I tried unselecting, and still it doesn't show. So I try unselecting the profiles, and it still doesn't show. So we're gonna have to just delete that last operation, and we're going to go to sketches and make sure that our sketch is showing, because once Fusion selects it, it hides it. So we're going to show it. This time we're going to select new component. We're going to select our width, which is MDF 75, and we finally have our top side. So now we're going to unhide or show both of our sides, and we can see that um, now we are good. We're good to go. So we can hide now our sketch number 3. We can collapse that sketch and that bodies um, folder, because everything is organized in folders in Fusion, and that's actually pretty nice. So we can collapse that and we can continue modeling. So um, following this, we are going to start with our toe kick. And this time it's going to make sense what the toe kick slab is. And for that, we're going to go and select our that bottom face. There are actually multiple faces or multiple ways we can do it. I decided to go with this, and you will see how. We're going to select that face, and we're going to draw a rectangle. We are going to snap there, and you will see that we won't be able to snap on the line. So then again, we're going to do our selecting now this time a line and a point and make it coincident. So that point is going to be dragged over to the line that was there. We're going to give it a dimension, and we're going to type toe kick, which is the name of, we don't need to type the whole word, it's just T, and then it will show up as an option. So now we have that rectangle at the right size. We are going to select our profile, and in order to flip it, we need to type negative, and also make sure that we have new component this time. We're going to type negative. Only time now. MDF 75, and we have our toe kick. So this is for structure. We need to make. We always need to put these types of slabs, and sometimes we put that at the back. We have them hidden at the top back as well. We can use that same one. This time we're not going to use it, but we can put when we actually design one that we're going to build, we're going to pick that. So now we're going to also do our bottom shelf. We picked the top of our toe kick for our sketch. We're going to also hide our top face because just to be able to see, and we're going to go to the top, and we're going to um, bring 2 points. We're going to make them coincident. I could have picked that line and then do again another line, but I'm going to pick 2 points. So remember to use shift and use coincident to make them coincident or locked in. We finish that sketch. We go back to our home view, and we select the extrude command. We need to pick both and new component and MDF 75 for our thickness. There you go. Let's go OK. And we have our bottom shelf. Now we're going to do as um, another vertical phase that's going to be in running from our uh, bottom panel that we just did. And as you can see, this time we were able to snap two lines because they exist, they're there. So we just need to give dimensions. This one is going to be MDF. That's actually, this time we're sketching the width of our panel. So here we give the bottle width um, for the space in between those two, and then we're going to use the extrude command to make that panel. And I'll show you a new trick now. It's new component. We pick that, and instead of giving it a distance, we're actually going to use in where it says direction, no, extend type there. We're going to pick two object. So that's always going to make it to that face object. We wait until it's highlighted, we pick it, and no matter where that face is, that extrusion is always going to match it. Okay, so now we have our that slab where all the smaller slabs for the bottles are going to go. So we're going to also show now, as another trick, we're going to show that last sketch, and we're going to use even one more trick and reuse that sketch. So we're going to select only that profile, and we're going to offset where that is starting. So for that one, we're going to use uh, formula, which is going to be the door height minus 2 times the MDF 75. Oops, 2 times MDF 75. And that way our door is going to cover both panels, the bottom one and the middle one. So our distance now this time is MDF 75. And you can see that the extrusion is not happening where the sketch is. It's actually offset. And that distance is that formula we just calculated. By the way, we were about to make that a join. By default, it's always join, and that's pretty annoying actually. So we're going to select new component and just go OK. And we will be done with that middle shelf. And we'll be ready to maybe make our doors or do the our wine bottle shelves. We're also going to, well, actually, let's do our wine bottom shelf. We're going to reuse the same sketch since it's shown right now. And we're going to use exactly the same technique by offsetting where it starts. And this time we're going to, that dimension offset is going to be the bottle width parameter. The distance is going to be MDF 75. And again, not join, but new component. And then we're going to click OK, and we can see it's exactly the same. It's not extruding at the sketch plane, but offset. And we are kind of done with that sketch. We can hide it, and we are ready to make our doors and also to make the pattern of our okay, so there's that pattern command. It's pattern rectangular or rectangular pattern, and we're going to select, instead of bodies, we're going to select components. We select that component, and the axis is the direction how we're going to make this pattern. So by default you see 3 and 3. That means that it's going to make 3 also in another direction, and we don't want that. I'll show you. Right now the distance is 0, so there's actually 3 of them being drawn in the same space, and that's not good. So if we put there, let's say 100, you see there are 3. So we don't want that. We want one in that direction. We don't want to make a pattern in that direction. We want to make the pattern in the other direction. Okay, so we're gonna make that one 1, and this one we're gonna make, let's say, 4 or 5. But there we're going to give it the distance, which is going to be our bottle width. Now you see that they're actually pretty close together. That's because the calculation of spacing is 110 over 4, which is pretty close. So instead of doing in the distribution, we select spacing, so that 110 bottle width is going to be actually the spacing between each of the slabs. Uh, okay, so we need to do that bottle width, and we're going to make it 5. I'm going to click OK, and now we have our 5 slabs for our bottle containers to go. We're going to leave a space there so that they can put standing up bottles there, and or maybe short bottles standing up. And yeah, so we're good to go. I think we have all we need to do is make our door, and we'll see how it looks at the end. We're going to select the sketch. We're going to select that face rectangle. We're going to pick anywhere for now, and we're going to use our coincident command. So we're picking that and that line, point and the line, and we're going to make it coincident. Now the coincident command is activated, so we just need to pick the line and the point, and it's going to make them coincident. So now that we have um, our constraints, we're going to give it the dimension of the width. And for that, we're going to use a formula. So we have our overall width, and we need to subtract two dimensions and divide it by two. So we're going to open bracket and type width, which is the width of our whole cabinet. And to that, we're going to subtract mm, the bottle width and one of the MDF 75 that we have. And also we're going to give spacing between the two doors. So for that, I'm going to put 5 millimeters, and that 5 millimeters is actually going to get divided. So it's going to be 2.5 millimeters. So we just go minus 5 millimeters just in case, type it, and then divide it by 2. So we have the size of our door. We go sketch, finish sketch, and then we're going to extrude it. That's the simple part by now. We're going to select all the profiles that we need, and we're going to make it a new component. And the distance MDF 75, and we're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to mirror that, but we don't have a reference. Our center plane is not the same, so we're going to make another plane, and we go to construct, and we select mid plane. And by the way, there's a bunch of commands here that later on we're going to cover, but for now we're going to select a mid plane. We pick that one face and that other face, the internal face, and that draws a plane right in the middle of it. And we're going to zoom in, and we're actually going to see that spacing that we calculated is going to show up there. We're going to do an inspection, select a point and the plane, and you can see 2.5 millimeters is the spacing that we have. Okay, so we're good to go. We just need to make our mirror the other door. Select that component, select our newly created plane, just click OK, and we have um, our mirror door. That plane that we just created, that is now in the construction folder, we can hide it. We don't need it, but it's always there. We can always show it or use it for something else, which in this case it will be actually our handles, which we're going to do in the next tutorial. In this tutorial, we're only going to do the MDF, the wood. So this time we're going to do the back face, which in this kind of furniture it can actually be the front face. We can select a good looking board, and maybe even put designs, because remember, this is a wine cabinet, and it can be used to host. When you host a party, you can serve um, placing it in the middle, and then be like a kind of like a bartender in your party. So the same as before, we constrain our faces. We select the right profiles. We make it a new component, and this is the first time we're going to use the other MDF height, which is the 188, which is um, a thinner board. So there we go. There we have all the components. The wood components are done, and we're going to give them color. So bamboo dark is something that I like. You go select all of them, and then you drag that appearance, and that makes it look bambooish. So we're also going to stop this tutorial now, and I'm going to show you why um, why did we do our first body, our first box, that transparent box. Why did we do it that way? Um, you see, in the physical materials here, for now, we're not going to. Um, we have part number, and that's going to be important when we actually go for sizes. But we're going to figure out a way how to automate the sizes of our components so that we can create a working bill of materials that we can nest on a board that we're going to buy in the hardware store. So I can show now the transparent body that we created at the beginning, and we can see that all our pieces, well, actually, except our door, are outside. The door is outside, but the rest is inside. And we're going to change the parameters of that box and all the other components because we use constraints, because we use faces to cut to or to extrude to. um, we're going to modify our parameters, and we're going to see that our components are also going to modify. So let's go over here. We're going to put this on the side so you can see the magic, and you're going to love this because you can, for a person that has a smaller apartment, you can do this same piece of furniture, and you can make it just a narrower one. Like, I'm going to change the width to 500, and there you go. There is a narrower furniture, the same furniture, and all the doors, everything is, it accommodates to that. And well, the one that I built was 650, so I'm gonna return it back to 650. But um, or no, wait, 765 or 675. There you go. That's the one that I built. Um, did I say 675? Well, we can make it 800. So, ooh, we did it. So feel free to play with these parameters and make your own custom sizes for your furniture. We're going to continue in another session. For now, please click subscribe and like my videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye.